you can call LeBron James MVP, because I witnessed him rise above his finals demons of a year ago, rise above these NBA finals, take them over for 4 straight games, and deserve without question the MVP. And whether anyone out there believes this or not, I am happy for LeBron James. I am relieved for LeBron James. I have been saying on this show for 7 years, I like him personally. I think he's a good guy with a good heart. And I am here to say, I picked the Heat to win before the season, but I picked him to win the finals in 6 games because I said Dwayne Wade would ultimately make the difference. I was wrong about that. Heat win in 5 games because LeBron James ultimately made all the difference in the world. But I must say, big picture, I could not say it better than LeBron himself said it on ABC. First thing he said out of his mouth, so honestly and humbly, it's about damn time. That's what I've been saying for 9 years, 7 years on this show. It's about damn time, LeBron. What took you so long? Because, Stephen A., I'm going to remind you, it took 9 years and 3 league MVPs, regular season MVPs. It took leaving Cleveland. It took joining forces with a top 5 player with all-time great intangibles and a top 20 player in Chris Bosh. It took coming up so small against Orlando 4 years ago and against Boston 3 years ago, and the most humiliating superstar performance in a finals I think we will ever see in the history of sports against the underdog Dallas Mavericks a year ago. It took blowing last shot opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, dozens of them through his regular season and postseason career. And it took a game 1 of this finals, which was immaturely and wrongheadedly played again by LeBron James, and we both criticized him for it after game 1, until he finally swallowed his pride and came to grips with, I can't do any longer what I do worse, which is trying to play perimeter jump shooting basketball, and I'm going to concentrate on the 3 things I do better than anybody else in basketball. I'm going to take it to the hole, I'm going to dish it the way nobody can dish it, and I'm going to defend the best shooter in basketball, the best scorer in basketball. I'm going to take him out of this series. I'm going to take Kevin Durant out of this series. And Stephen A. Smith, now listen to this. Have I been unfairly critical of LeBron James? In my opinion, absolutely not. I have only consistently spoken the valid truth about LeBron, who did declare himself basically the next Michael Jordan. He chose to wear 23, adopted Michael's powder toss routine before games, coming right out of high school.
He was 18.
He was, but I set his bar very high because I have called him for 7 straight years the most gifted player in basketball, have I not?
You have.
And because of that, again and again, I said, come on, LeBron, you are so much better than that. Again and again, Stephen A., I called him the best attacker of the basket I've ever seen. Am I right about that?
You have.
And Stephen A., as a perimeter jump shooter, he's no more than streaky at best. So after his 13 of 19 in that Game 6 at Boston, what did I say? Be careful. This is a dangerous aberration. And what happened after that over the next 6 games? He goes 10 for 53 from the perimeter on jump shots. That's 18.9%. That won't cut it. But after game 1, he had an epiphany. I don't know what happened. In Oklahoma City, my hometown, ironically, Eureka, LeBron figured it out because we criticized him. We said, you have to take Kevin Durant on defense and you have to take him to the basket on offense. And what happened in the next 4 games? We saw the best passing forward in basketball, which I've said he is. He can be the best point guard, but he's definitely the best passing forward. We saw one of the top 5 defenders in basketball. We saw a tour de force of what LeBron James does best. So in the end, as I sit back from this, do I think he has the clutch gene? Did he prove that? No, I don't think he does. I still don't want to see him with the ball in his hands with the last shot, especially from the perimeter. But could he now figure out how to close a game from the paint, like inside out? Maybe. I'll give him that.
And then maybe ultimately from the free throw line.
Maybe from the free throw line. I'm glad you brought that up because I have harshly criticized his free throw shooting. And even for the playoffs, he shot 73%, which is just okay. It's not that 90% of Magic, Bird, and Michael.
Right.
But for the finals, he shot 82.6% from the free throw line. 82.6.
In a lot of free throw trips.
That is terrific for LeBron James. And I'm going to say it again. The two he made late in Game 2, which was the turning point of the series, to ice the game, they were up 2 with 6 seconds to go. The two biggest shots of his career. I applaud him for making those two free throws. And I applaud this new LeBron James. But Stephen A., it took 9 years and a whole lot of playoff games until we got to this point. Often better than I love him on the offensive end.
Yeah.
But that team has been lethargic on defense too many nights this year, and it starts...
Not him.
I know, but sometimes he's not into it on defense the way he should be. He doesn't play up to his capability on defense.
Yeah, but...
Okay, I'm going to make this case one more time.
Okay.
This will never, ever happen. But somebody needs to defend this team one last time. Tony Parker should be the MVP of this league. This team has a real shot at winning overall best record in the NBA. They have 2 road games, but they're so deep, I won't be surprised if they win both of them at Phoenix and at Golden State. And if they wind up with the best overall record, I like to think that somebody should get an individual award on that team. Tony Parker is the driving force of the best offense in basketball. He is playing the highest level of pure point guard, and it's combo point guard.
But nobody, we can't refute that. I mean, he definitely deserves strong consideration. I don't find anything insulting about that assertion. But when you dismiss LeBron and what he does on the defensive end of the floor, you have to remember he's not Tyson Chandler, who's my defensive player of the year, by the way.
Okay.
He's not Tyson
I'm with you
Chandler
on
in
that.
terms of a front line.
that.
You're not a front line player where you get to anchor a defense.
Okay.
LeBron James is out there running around all over the place looking at 4 or 5 different positions he's defending. Somehow, some way. You're scared. Literally, when you run fast breaks against the Miami Heat, you got your back turned. Where's LeBron at? Because you know he's coming. Not to mention that he mans up on his man. Not to mention he averages 27, 8, and 8. I mean, come on now. On better than 50% shooting. The dude is legit, which is what makes it even more egregious and embarrassing when you don't win the title. But that's a different story. The point is, regular season-wise, he deserves league MVP.
And this Heat team played very well without Dwayne Wade.
Yes.
So you can't really make that argument.
LeBron, it's on you, pal.
Listen, man, listen. Kevin Durant has been absolutely sensational for the most part this season. He's a scoring machine. He's a great ambassador for the game. Love him. Love his game a lot, even though I didn't like what I saw Sunday for a little while. But LeBron James is my league MVP. LeBron James. I mean, listen, nobody has been on him more than me, and nobody will be on him more than me.
Please.
But I got to tell you, when I watch this guy play, up close and in person as well as on TV, he is clearly the league MVP. Now, let me explain in all seriousness what's going on with Miami. Bosh, to me, is the best third wheel in the game when healthy, and he's improved this year. You know, Dwayne Wade's health and durability have been a question mark, and then Riles came in there and wanted him to sit down for a few games. Night in, night out, like a locomotive coming at you, has been LeBron James. Means absolutely, and I mean every word that I say, Skip, means absolutely nothing to me. If you remember, at the beginning of the season before it started, I said he could end up winning league MVP honors. Means nothing to me. He's got to get it done. He's got to get the ring. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be blind to what I saw during this regular season. And to me, what separates him from Durant is what he does on the defensive side of the ball. That's what separates him from a Tony Parker. It's what separated him from Kobe Bryant, even though Kobe Bryant's durability came into question those last 7 or 8 games or so that he missed. All of these guys, I remember early in the season, Kevin Love, the way he was balling, deserves some consideration. No doubt. But on both ends of the floor, night in, night out, and no matter how much I get on you about it, I do respect your position about you refuse to vote for him because he joined Dwayne Wade. But I'm ignoring all of that because the playoffs to me are a different world. That has nothing to do with the regular season. The regular season, 66 games, you know it's a truncated season. You're thinking it's going to be a lockout. If guys weren't working out, they weren't on their game, clearly that was not his problem. From day one of this regular season through game 64 this season, This boy has been balling. He's been in the best condition of anybody else. He's been focused, and he's been delivering on both ends of the floor. And even though he has missed big shots, he's also made big shots during this regular season.
Remind me.
All of that, stop it, you know. All of that being considered, I just can't deny him. For the regular season, I cannot deny that LeBron James is my league MVP. He has my vote.
I knew you were going there.
I know
you
you
told
did.
me before the show you had the big announcement.
Yes.
And I thought about it and thought about it.
I thought about it.
You can't quit from smiling over there because you just did it for me to go to LeBron James. You kind of backed into it. You had Durant for much of the year.
It was back and forth. Come on, Skip, be fair. It was back and forth. I've been back and forth all year. It's been between those two. And Kobe and Tony Parker were in the picture.
And when Durant missed 23 shots at Staples on Sunday, 23 shots, including one that could have won it, a couple late ones in overtime, that was when you said that's enough.
Let's not also forget how I was there in South Beach when Oklahoma City came down there and LeBron dropped 34 and 10. I was there.
He did.
Yeah.
But there just been too many games, such as the one at Chicago when LeBron stepped to the free throw line, needing to make both free throws to ice it, close the deal, give him a 4-point lead, game over with 11 seconds left. And what does he do? He steps right up and LeBricks the first free throw. I just can't go MVP. I don't see it.
And then in the game against the Nets, when he dropped 39 and finished with the final 17, you gave him the standing ovation.
But you know what? Because we said we set his bar so low, because we expect so little in the clutch.
But let's also remember, first of all, he has produced in the clutch on several occasions this year, just like he's come up short on several occasions. But number two, and more importantly, let's not forget that bench, which has been virtually non-existent. So really, if you combine the absence of Miami's bench with durability issues from Dwayne Wade, and now Chris Bosh, the one consistent element of the Miami Heat has been LeBron James. And it has been on both ends of the floor. It has been with him defending the opposition's best player. It's been with him on occasion closing. It's been with him for those first 45, 46 minutes, balling. Both ends of the floor. Again, all this does is add pressure. Because if you can do this in the regular season, where the hell are you going to be now that the postseason's here? But that doesn't mean we get to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to what we've seen over the 66-game schedule.
So is this a hidden agenda just to ratchet up pressure on LeBron?
No. I've said it, Skip, I've said it from day one. I said that it's possible he would come out like a gangbuster this year. He would be balling. He would be a candidate for league MVP honors. I said he might even win it. And it will mean nothing to me. I'll give him my vote. Still means nothing. But that doesn't mean I'm going to deny the obvious. He's the league MVP.
To your defensive point, I love LeBron on defense.
A part of me feels like I owe you an apology. Because as I sit here and I listen to your soliloquy for the last 8 minutes, and it's actually 8 minutes and 13 seconds, just in case you were wondering how long it was.
I warned you.
I must say, you're not making yourself look very good right now, Skip Bayless. Because you see, no matter what you bring up, no matter how you stood up and just applauded this man, there was always a but. You can call it an asterisk. It's a but. It's some level of modification. On this day, on today, you would do this?
Where was I wrong?
Let me finish.
Where was I inaccurate?
Excuse me. I let you talk for 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Unfiltered, baby. I gave it to you. Give it to me. What I'm saying to you, Skip Bayless, is that as you sat there and you went on that soliloquy, it was all in an effort to justify the fact that you were right. It's not about whether you were right or wrong. I've been on the record. How many times, Jay Crawford, have I said, rarely have your facts been wrong, if ever? What I said is that they've been incomplete because they don't tell an entire story. You have the numbers. You have the little incidences. You have, you know, the stuff that you could peel out to modify, or rather to buffer and embellish and augment your argument. But it doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell what this man went through. It doesn't tell what we, you, me, the national media, the local media put this man through, and how he overcame all of that stuff. And on this day, on a night where he wins his first championship, I'm sorry, less than 12 hours after he wins his first championship, and he registers a triple-double, clearly wasn't himself, bad cramp, was limping, was not running continuously, effectively. He was not himself. 26, 13, and 11. He captures his first world championship. You sit here and you applaud the fact that he swallowed his pride and he said, about damn time. When you gonna swallow yours?
I just did.
No, you didn't. And I'm telling you why you didn't. Because you're modifying your support for him by justifying all the years of criticism. And I'm saying, could you not sit back, at least for a segment in the show, and say, well, you know what? This ain't the moment for me to bring this up. Let me go further, because I've only been talking for 2.5 minutes. I have numbers here, just like you do. And please, feel free, because really I'm not really talking to you. I'm talking to our national viewing audience about you. The same Skip Bayless that just brought up these things about LeBron James. Career regular season average, 27, 7, and 6. Career postseason average, 28, 8, and 6. This postseason, 39 and 5. First round, 27, 6, and 5. Second round against Indiana, 30, 10, and 6. Conference finals, 33, 11, and 3. Finals, 28.6 points, 10.2 rebounds, 7.4 assists.
Wow.
He's a 3-time league MVP. This man is a perennial all-star. He is clearly one of the most dominant players in the game. All I said was, you gotta get it done. You gotta get the chip. And last night, when it was all over, you know how I feel about my custom tailored suits. First of all, I think they look very good, and I must admit it that they ain't cheap, okay? But I had to go up in there and get champagne poured on me just to make sure I went to that man and I saw him and Dwayne Wade and Eric Spoelstra, the people that I have been criticizing, to pay homage to what they did. LeBron James' greatness, Dwayne Wade's unselfishness, Eric Spoelstra, that young coach who's got a tremendously bright future that has been maligned and ridiculed and questioned. All of this stuff because you got to man up. I ain't hiding. And what I'm saying to you is that on this show, with these national airwaves, I know you too well to know how decent you are. I know a lot of people say stuff about you. You are far better than people give you credit for. But there are some things you become fixated on. One of them is Tim Tebow, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to spend an entire season dealing with that before he wets the bed. And we'll talk about that another day. But on this day, it's about LeBron. It's about his greatness. It's about his accomplishments, and more importantly, as he put into words appropriately, Skip Bayless, it is about the path that he took. The dude is 27. He ain't 47. He made mistakes, sure, with the decision, sure, with the way he handled it. But he's also a dude that's been in this league all 9 years. Like you said, you've always liked him as an individual. That means you acknowledge he's never acted foolish. He's never been irresponsible. He's never gotten himself in trouble with the law. He brings up, and you're talking to a man here, and I must admit, as an African American, as a black man, how proud I am of the fact that he lifted his boys up. LRMR, LeBron, Randy, Maverick, Rich, all great guys. Lifted them up, brought them along with him, have them controlling his brand, building his brand, not to mention a plethora of friends that he has all over the league. Look at how Kevin Durant hugged this boy. Look at how happy he was for him. It comes a point in time, Skip Bayless, where we simply step back. And no matter how right you may have been, with all the things that you mentioned throughout the years, and I'll even give it to you. When you said those things about him, and you brought up those questions about him, you were on the money about it. Might have been a bit excessive at times, but that's life. People need to get over that. But you weren't wrong in terms of your factual information. But you don't look right this morning when you stand up and clap 1 minute and then highlight and critique what he hasn't, what he still needs to do, or how justified you were in being critical of him on this day. After all he's been through, he had to sit here and take for the last year, at least the last year, from me, from you, from others, all the heat and vitriol and disgust from his performance. He won it now. Give it up. And you're not giving it up fully. You're acknowledging, but you're not giving it up, because if you truly give it up, you'll swallow your pride and don't worry about what you were right about. It ain't your day to be right. It's your day to acknowledge he's a champion and he's a king, and leave it at